What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this Anfield Agenda Brighton preview video. The Reds finally back at Anfield after what feels like an eternity. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like we've been on the road for quite a while now. Back-to-back victories, though, have pushed Liverpool back into, well, let's say potentially a title race, but absolutely certainly the top four race. We should be looking to beat Brighton at home, but Brighton are going to be full of confidence themselves. They beat Spurs recently, and that's no mean feat. We beat Spurs, of course, ourselves, but for Brighton, that was a victory that gave them a little bit more breathing room between themselves and the chasing pack in that relegation battle. We know that Brighton have some very good young players. Tariq Lamptey obviously not available. Adam Lallana, a former player of ours, is there. Young Connolly looks like he's got bags of pace as well. And they are a very good side transitioning from defence into attack. That being said, I don't think they're going to be a team that comes, sit back and look to play for a boring 0-0 draw. That's not the way Graham Potter sets his team up. They like to come and play. And usually when we get these, what I like to call basketball style games where we go head to head, they're games that Liverpool come out on top. From our point of view, obviously still no Fabinho for this one. We're probably going to see Captain Jordan Henderson slot alongside the old reliable Nat Phillips, as we like to call him now, at centre back. And yes, we are going to be bringing in centre backs. As I record this, nothing has been officially done, but it's looking like Ozan Kabak and Ben Davies will be coming into the club. That'll give Jurgen Klopp a massive relief from the headache that he's had around centre backs, and maybe will allow us to eventually get El Capitan back into midfield. Before I look ahead to this, I want to catch up with Leon from BoyleSports earlier on. Then I'll be back to give you guys my predicted score and my predicted starting 11. But as always, these videos are brought to you in association with our sponsors, BoyleSports. And a little bit earlier on today, I caught up with Leon, and here's what he had to say. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week where I'm joined by Leon Blanche from our sponsors, BoyleSports. And look, Leon, things are a little bit rosier, my friend, since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, they are. Look, Craig, I think you and I both kind of said this was a massive week. Two huge away games in London. We've been quite good in London, as it happens. But I just thought both second half performances in the respective games, I thought they were really, really good. We've stepped back into kind of looking so dangerous when we get the ball in the final third. There's players moving, and it was a slow build-up. Probably more of a slow build-up against West Ham than it was against Spurs. Mane should have scored early against Spurs. The Son goal, in my opinion, should have been allowed stand because VAR is just ruining the game. But we got the job done. 2-3-1 victories, 6 out of 6. But a massive week in store, Craig, and starting off with Brighton. And VAR again came to our harm in the away fixture when they got that late penalty to get a 1-1 draw. But Liverpool now back to Anfield. No fans. And this is important. Anfield is our fortress. Yes, our unbeaten run is gone, but let's start a new run and let's get back to winning ways at Fortress Anfield. Brighton play lovely football, should help Liverpool, but I'm looking forward to Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's, you think about Brighton and you think they're down the bottom end of the table, potentially in a relegation battle, but then you see the Brighton that showed up and fought for every ball against Spurs and didn't let Spurs get into the game at all. Now, what I will say, Leon, is I like teams that come to Anfield and try and play football, because if it's end-to-end stuff, I always back our boys to come out on top. But I think I don't know how you're feeling, mate, but I think this game has goals in it.
I think there is goals in it too, and I echo your statement in terms of Brighton. It's hard to imagine them being so low in the Premier League table, but I think they've one big problem. They don't score enough, and that is their big issue. They create. They get players into situations that can cause the opponents danger. But unfortunately for them, and hopefully that continues on Wednesday night, that they just don't take their chances. Aaron Connolly came off the bench against Tottenham Hotspur and he should have scored. I mean, I think he already felt he had scored, but he hit the ball straight at Toby Alderweireld. Look, it was a great block. But if that was a Liverpool player, Craig, you and I would be both pulling our hair out in terms of not putting the ball into the back of the net. So I think there's going to be goals. But the way Liverpool are playing at the moment, you've got to fancy a Liverpool win. You're not going to be called a genius for going for that. But Liverpool are 4-11. But the one player, Craig, that to me was getting a little bit of stick from Liverpool fans, I don't know why. He's the first player since Ian Rush to score 20 plus goals in 4 consecutive seasons. It's a remarkable stat. There's only been 5 Liverpool strikers that have ever done that. And Mohamed Salah is now in that company. And I think when you look back to the FA Cup game against United, 2 chances, 2 goals. I think when you look at the Spurs game, a brilliant goal that was ruled out by VAR because the ball hit Bobby's hand. But then you look at his 2 finishes against West Ham. And I think you've seen both sides of Mo Salah. That old Mo Salah, when he gets into the box, everybody knows he's going to drop the left shoulder. But you can't defend against it. The finish was exceptional. And the second goal, from start to finish, 14.8 seconds from a West Ham corner. The ball by Trent, the exquisite pass by Shaqiri. But any young kid that watches football, watch how Salah lets the ball bounce to hit the bottom of his foot. And in a blink of an eye, it's another goal. And for me, when he's on fire, let's say he's got 5 goals in the last 3 games, if you take out the VAR decision, he's the man that Liverpool fans should be looking to now to be our match winner. I don't know whether Sadio Mane, Craig, is going to be fit for the Wednesday game, but I think with Mo Salah, he's 2-1 to score the first goal in the game. I'd be looking at Mo Salah to score first. I'd be looking at Liverpool to win, and I'd be looking at both teams to score, because even though Brighton are not prolific, I think they will cause us problems. As we saw in the earlier fixture in the league, they had chances to score. That man, Aaron Connolly, again, actually, he missed a sitter when he went through early. So I'm going to go with those 3 outcomes. Salah first, Liverpool win, both teams to score.
Love it. Great to see one of our charity bets came up actually since we last spoke as well. €130 in the kitty for PA the House, which for those that aren't aware is a suicide prevention charity here in Ireland that do absolutely fantastic work. And yeah, it's great. Again, and we want to say a massive thank you to you guys for giving us that €50 free bet for each of these Liverpool games. It allows us to get our subscribers, and it's gone down really well with our subscribers. There's a queue of people waiting to see. We've got 1 point on our leaderboard for Mark Caldwell. He's now top of it. Ian is up next. Let's see how he gets on for this game of the weekend, on Wednesday night.
Yeah, look, you were telling me just a little bit before we had our chat that we were unlucky again with our bet against West Ham. We were leading the corner count, but not unfortunately, I think this is a side to Liverpool which I'm actually I quite admire it. When we went 2-0 up, and especially when we went 3-0 up, the possession we kept. And we just kept the ball without exerting any energy. And I think that's a crucial point to make, in that with these games coming so fast, you must remember Liverpool played Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday against Brighton, and they're going to play Sunday against Man City. So it's 4 matches in 10 days. So you've got to try and conserve energy wherever possible. And I thought their clock management, especially against West Ham, I thought it was really good. And hopefully we're in that same type of position on Wednesday night when we face Brighton, maybe 1 or 2 up, and we can start to just keep the ball again ahead of what could be, well, I think probably it could be a season-defining game against Manchester City, because if we beat Brighton, which I fully expect we can, it's all or bust for me. Beat City, we're banging the league title. Lose to City, the league is gone.
Yeah, and just touching back to Mark and a few of our subscribers, they were actually saying, I think Bet Builder was the option that they used, but they were loving the fact that they could have a look at the stats and that they could see what the record was like. And, it is a massive help. I say it time and time again. People always think the bookies have an edge, but when you've got tools like the Bet Builder, like the Opta stats at your disposal, levels out the playing field a little bit, mate. And I know I shouldn't be saying this, but I like taking a few quid off the bookies, and anything that can give me a bit of an edge, I'm all for it.
Oh, look, Craig, there's nothing wrong with it, and that's why we decided to kind of do that partnership with Opta in terms of giving people the actual facts. Because I think, if you're placing a little bet, if you do your homework, I think you've got a better chance. And Bet Builder is a great way to kind of pick your own bets. It can be anything. It can be goals, it can be corners, it can be cards, it can be the match handicap. I mean, my one that I just said earlier on is a 7-1 chance. Now, okay, Mo's got to score first, but I do think both teams will score, and I think it's going to be a Liverpool victory. So it just gives you more fun when you're watching the match. It doesn't have to be a large stake whatsoever. You can just make up your own bet as you go along. And I think that's why a lot of people love building their own bet.
I think I'm going to be quite bold here with mine. I think I'm going to Curtis Jones to score and Liverpool to win. I feel like Jones, he's going to get one. And, he likes to strike from outside the box. He's not afraid to shoot. And I thought actually he massively influenced that game against West Ham when he came on. Straight away involved in Salah's goal.
Yeah, 100%. And again, game management by Jurgen Klopp. James Milner, who turned 35 in January, had just played the previous 180 minutes against United and Spurs. So come up to the hour mark, he decides to give him a rest. We all saw how Milner wasn't happy coming off, but that's why we love him. No player should ever be happy getting taken off a football pitch. But Curtis Jones, for me, Craig, I hope he starts Wednesday night because he is that type of player in the middle three. He might even start outside left as he did in the FA Cup game against United. But he just has, when he receives the ball, his first thought is, can I go forward? Can I make something happen? And he's got a huge future. He only turned, 20 on Saturday. So he's got a fantastic future with Liverpool. It's great he's a local boy. I think that's so important, having Trent and having him around the same age. They're going to be there for years to come. But Jones, you know how I feel about him. I know how you feel about him. He's an exciting prospect.
I just want to go back to Mohamed Salah before I let you go, because there was something came up on my Twitter timeline earlier on that really made me smile. We all know the high esteem that Eden Hazard was put in by Chelsea players and pundits alike. Mohamed Salah has absolutely danced all over his numbers in far less appearances. Do you think that he doesn't get the praise that he should from the widespread media? Obviously, our fan base love him, but I just feel like he's a little bit hard done by.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. You don't see Salah being mentioned in the same, like when people talked about Hazard, or even when people talk about Ronaldo's numbers, and rightly so, he's been off the charts. But so has Mo Salah. This is his fourth consecutive season to score 20 plus goals. And if you look at the history of our great club and how successful we were in the 80s and even before that in the late 70s, there wasn't too many players who did it. Now he's there. This is his fourth year with the club. Maybe Salah set the bar too high in his first season because he was just off the charts. But to continuously do it, and even I heard his interview yesterday, and I thought he spoke exceptionally well in terms of, the reporter said, in terms of your own slump. He says, look, I try my best every game. It's not just about me. It's about our team. And I think you could see even the way he celebrated, people say him and Mane have a problem. I didn't see that whatsoever in terms of the Man United game, even when Mane came on, or in terms of the Spurs game. They were straight over congratulating each other. I think a lot of that is nonsense personally. But I think Salah, you're right, doesn't get the credit he deserves. But I'll tell you something, to go for your fourth consecutive season, 20 plus goals. I said it with you on a podcast about a month ago. I said, I'm convinced he'll have 20 plus Premier League goals this season. He's already up to, 15 now? That's a certainty to happen. He's going to be 20 plus again in the league, and the league only. And by the way, Craig, I think the biggest compliment I can give Mo Salah is, especially when it goes into the Champions League, he's always double teamed. They always put two players around Mo Salah. And that goes to show you, I think he's actually held in higher regard in Europe than he is maybe from people who watch the Premier League.
Yeah, it's true. And look, before I let you go, you also said to me the last time we spoke, we need 12 points from 12. We've 6 in the bag so far from 6. If tomorrow we get the 9, then it all builds up. And I know we're going to speak ahead of the Manchester City game at the weekend. But as I said at the very start, it's looking an awful lot rosier, my friend.
It certainly is. And I just kind of think, Craig, we have the experience of going on a winning run. We've got rid of our winless run. That's out the window now. We've won our last 2. But there's no doubt in my mind that this Liverpool team can win every single Premier League game from now to the end of the season. It's going to be difficult. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're just going to win 19 matches. But the standard that they've set themselves over the past 2 Premier League campaigns, they know it's possible. They know it's entirely possible. Now, what have we got? 17 matches left. 51 points is achievable. If we get anything close to that, we're going to retain the Premier League title, in my humble opinion.
Right, folks, you heard what Leon had to say. We'll also have a charity bet, of course, coming up for the game, which we'll announce in due course. We're just waiting for Ian, who's the next Anfield Agenda subscriber, to come up with a charity bet. All the proceeds, by the way, from the charity bets this season will be gone to PA The House, which is a suicide prevention charity here in Ireland. But look, we're here to talk about the game. We're here to look ahead to the predicted scores and the starting 11. As always, I'm going to start with my predicted score. So this is the score I'm going for. A 2-0 home win to the Reds. It could be 3-1. I'm not saying we're going to keep a clean sheet, but I'm very confident that we're going to go into this game full of confidence. Our forwards look back to their brilliant best. Yes, Sadio Mane had a little muscle strain, and I'll talk you through my predicted 11 in a minute. Fabinho won't be back for this game. Unfortunately, it comes a little bit too soon for him, but we are starting to get bodies back. Diogo Jota, Naby Keita, they're not going to be that far away. And as I was saying, as I record this, it looks like we're about to bring in Ozan Kabak and Ben Davies as well to help with the defensive reinforcements, although I'm not sure if they will be registered in time for the game or not. But look, here's my starting 11, folks. Let me know what you think about it. So obviously I've gone for Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Nat Phillips to partner El Capitan Jordan Henderson at the heart of the Liverpool defence, and Andy Robertson at left back. Moving into midfield, I think I'm going to be right this time. I think we're going to see Curtis Jones. Jurgen Klopp hinted that James Milner might have just felt a little bit in his hamstring and they didn't want to take any chances with it, which is why he was taken off. You could see Milner wasn't happy about it, but better safe than sorry. So I think we're going to see Thiago, Gini Wijnaldum and Curtis Jones in that midfield. Now the interesting thing is going to be, does Gini drop back and play more in the 6 to allow Thiago to get on the front foot? We've seen in the second half against West Ham in particular, Thiago was becoming far more active in the final third of the field, which is what we need when we're looking to unlock defences. Curtis Jones came in, and for me, ladies and gentlemen, he absolutely changed that game. Immediately he was all involved in the move that led to Mohamed Salah's first goal. And then look, I could sit here all day and talk about our second goal, by the way, that counter-attacking move. But I think Curtis Jones deserves a starting place at home against Brighton. He's definitely somebody who we're going to be seeing a lot more of in that Liverpool midfield for the rest of the season, and then of course for many years to come. And then up front, decisions. Yes, I am Divock Origi's biggest fan, but I will admit that he put in a very good second half until he was taken off. But I think we're going to see Shaqiri, Bobby Firmino and Mohamed Salah start this game for the Reds. And you know what? I think Shaqiri deserves his opportunity. He's been very good when he's taken his chances recently, or when he's been given his chances, I should say. And I see no reason not to give him a start here in this one. Let me know what you guys think about my starting 11, of course. Let me know if you disagree with my score, if you think somebody else should be starting. Obviously, we're all still baffled as to what's going on with Takumi Minamino. No chance for him as of yet, but I'm sure when he builds up enough impressive training sessions, the gaffer will eventually give him his chance. The transfer window is about to slam shut as I record this. We're hours away from it closing. Looks like Liverpool will be bringing in a couple of people before the window closes. Keep an eye out on Anfield Agenda for more streams ahead of this. We'll be doing a transfer deadline show, although when this comes out, that will have probably passed. We'll be back on Sunday as well for the watch along against Brighton. The guys from Nothing But Reds will be here giving you the team prediction show, or the team news show I should say, excuse me. And then I'll be on 30 minutes before kick-off for the watch along and the post-match show. And of course, all of these are being brought to you in association with our partners BoyleSports. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know your predicted 11 and your score predictions in the chat. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Hope you have a cracking day. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and up the Reds.